All right. Hey, welcome to the Conquer Spirit podcast where we talk about all things conquering. I'm Anthony Salcido. Listen, today we're going to talk about a subject that every single man faces. Every single man. There's not one man in this world that does not face the topic that I'm about to share with you right now. You want to know what that is? Here we go. Every man in this world deals with objections to experience resistance towards something that you are attempting to do. As many of you guys already know, we have this amazing 3-day event called The Conquest in Big Bear, California. You can go check out, the link is in the description. But there have been a number of objections that have occurred, a lot of resistance in terms of different things that have come up. But here's the thing about objections. If you know that you feel that you're doing the right thing, that the thing that you are putting your effort and your energy towards is a good thing, then you have to continue to move forward regardless of the objections. You're going to get resistance. It's going to happen. Now think about where you're at right now, men. What are you experiencing right now? What objections have hit you that have affected your emotional state or your mental state or your spiritual state? Guys, we all experience these things. I was on a bike ride this morning, and I like to get up or throughout my day, I like to do some aspect of cardio. And I have a little loop that I do in my neighborhood. I don't know how many miles it is. It doesn't matter. But as I was on my normal bike routine here, I'm on my ride, I encounter an objection. I start seeing these signs that say street closed, sidewalk closed. I see the signs, I see the construction work trucks, and then I see the men out there with their orange vests on and their hard hats. And I had a choice to make. Am I going to continue to move forward even though the objection said that the road was closed, or am I going to plow past that and continue to do what I know I need to do? So I had a decision to make. I got all these, tough-looking construction guys working. There's an open trench. And I assessed the situation. Now, I'm not an idiot. I grew up on a construction site. My grandparents came from the concrete business. And so growing up, I knew, that there were forms. And I knew there was trenches and rebar and that kind of thing. So I don't advise this, but this is what I decided to do. I said, you know what? I'm not going to allow this to stop me from getting my ride done. So the guys are looking at me. The construction guys are looking at me like, what's this guy doing? Well, I pick up my mountain bike and then I carefully step over the rebar, over the trench, place my bike down, get on my bike, and I keep riding. These guys are looking at me like, oh, okay. Listen, I could have stopped right now. I could have went back. Yeah, I could have taken another direction. But for me, it was a challenge. See, when we face objections, either we are going to stop what we're doing or we're going to move past it. Now, I know a lot of times when we face objections, there's discouragement. There's this resistance that keeps us from experiencing the life that I believe God wants you to live, that you were designed for and made for. Now, if you're honest with yourself right now, men, what kind of objections are you facing this very moment? Are you dealing with some addictions? Are you dealing with some negative mindset stuff? Are you dealing with a bad marriage? Are you dealing with being obese and overeating? Guys, we all have objections, things that stop us from doing what we know we should be doing in business. If you're in sales, this is a great example, right? The phone calls you make, the networking connections you make, and when people say no, you get discouraged. But the real ones who understand, I just got to keep moving forward, continue to make the phone calls. Now, I do some solar as well, and there's nothing more fearful, I think, for people in this world than, one, to speak publicly. All right, I do it every Sunday because I'm a pastor of a church. I do it almost every Sunday anyway. So I feel like God's equipped me in that area, and it's taken a lot of time to get comfortable up there, but I just trust God with it. But I believe the second thing is this: knocking on a door and explaining a product or service to someone in hopes of actually getting them to purchase. That is daunting. Houses are very private places. So when you knock on a door, what are you going to say? What are you going to do? You want to really test yourself. Go with some solar sales guys who go door knocking in the neighborhood and experience the emotion from that. You're anxious, you're a little stressed out, you're a little worried, you're a little concerned, but are you willing to move past those emotions? Think about that for a second, right? Think about the greatest boxers or MMA fighters out there. You don't think that they get scared? You don't think that they get worried? I remember watching a YouTube video on Mike Tyson. There was an interview, and he talked about how before every fight, he would be so scared to death of losing. Now, you wouldn't think that of Iron Mike Tyson, but he admitted that those are the emotions he was going through. And you can actually find, I believe it's with Teddy Atlas, where he's a young kid, he's a teenager, and it's before he's in a fight, and he's having this emotional breakdown, and he's getting very emotional, and he's getting teary-eyed. And Teddy Atlas, who was like a father figure to him, is out there. I believe it's Teddy Atlas anyway. And that's a real moment. But see, did that stop Mike Tyson from getting in the ring? Did that stop him from doing what he knew he was capable of doing? Objections. He experienced objections from his emotions within, but it did not stop Iron Mike Tyson from becoming the most vicious heavyweight champion in the world. In the world. Guys, you have to acknowledge the fact that objections are either going to stop you or test you to move forward with where you know you need to go. See, you can experience a whole host of different emotions, resistance, people, haters, whatever it is. Are you going to let that stop you? Remember there was a time when you were young, you actually cared what people thought about you, right? So you would act different or you would say things to try to fit in and be cool. You get to a point when you start to break through this where you don't care what anybody has to say. I do not care what people think, because people's negative comments are an objection if you allow them to be, or you can use it to fuel you to say, okay, not that you have anything to prove those haters, but prove to yourself that you can move past the objections. I want you right now to think about the areas of your life where you're experiencing objections and you need to move past them. Maybe an objection for you right now is at night you get real hungry and you start craving carbohydrates or you start craving potato chips. You got to move past that. You got to deny that. Maybe an objection for you right now is coming in the form of business and things are in the way of your projects and you keep having to go through this red tape and you just want to give up. Don't give up. Move past objections and see what happens. Guys, there is light at the end of the tunnel. On the other side, I do believe this, that there's a pot of gold, whatever that means to you, if you do not allow the objection to stop you from living your God-given purpose. I'm going to tell you right now, there's good things on the other side of an objection. You got to keep going and move through it, all right? Hey guys, I want to know what you think. What are some of the objections that you're facing right now in your life? Put it down in the comments. Love to engage with you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, because you were made for purpose and God created you to be a conqueror and not a coward. So keep conquering.